and you are live.
Hey guys, welcome to the Black Belt Live. Just the whole entire week, I have Demian, Maia, and Murlio Bustamante here, and I'm your host. Is that possible? Me being the host here, just two idols. Listen, guys, everybody from the Black Belt Magazine community, which is not just only BJJ, not just only MMA. There's so many different backgrounds there, but there's one thing that is really common to all of us: is that they're all martial artists, and this is very very important because today is the MMA day, but especially you two, because I kind of know you in a more personal way. They're two of the best representatives of the martial arts into the MMA game, and you all have this brilliant personalities. Um, Avoiding any real trash talk and always a role model for people to follow. This is one of the main reasons why I kind of handpicked you two to talk. They were both very similar styles, in my opinion. Both apply jiu-jitsu a lot, both very well rounded, but at the same time, the personality is what I really am a fan of it. For both of you, you always really behave. You always were role models, and I'm Demian for being younger, but at the same time, I've been following your career since the time that you fought with Cattell. The Cattell was our striking coach of the American top team, and a guy that I love dearly. And we talk about it, how good of a human being you are, man, and how good martial artist you are. And I think this is very important. And I think that's one of the reasons why when they asked me to pick up two people that I think you represent jiu-jitsu and mix of martial arts, but beyond anything else, martial arts and life, I think you too, right?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Liborio. It's a pleasure to be here also. And you know what is funny? I remember when I was kid, even before training jiu-jitsu, I started to get involved with martial arts when I was like 11 years old. And there was just one magazine in Brazil, one fight magazine. The name was Combate Esporte. And this magazine, they belong to a guy who also had a store in downtown São Paulo, in the most famous corner of São Paulo, Ipiranga and São João Avenue. So I used to go there, to read the magazines that would come from other countries. I remember the Black Belt magazine, inside Kung Fu, inside Karate, all this. I couldn't understand nothing, but I would open just to see the pages. It was very good. And then a friend of mine came from the United States and started to live in Brazil, and he had a lot of Black Belts magazine. And that's remind me, back in 89, 90s, early 90s, that I was, trying to get some information about martial arts around the world, and I start to see and learn some stuff, even that I didn't understand any English at that time. I remember to see the pictures and see like big guys from that time, the kickboxers, and after that the jiu-jitsu guys, everybody.
Oh, no doubt about that. Murillo too. Murillo's the Black Belt magazine time, right, Murillo?
Yeah. So thank you, Liborio, for the compliments. It means a lot for me coming from a legend like you. We're friends for a long time, but in my opinion, you're one of the best of all times. And thank you. So Demian is someone that I have been watching for a long time, younger than me, for different generations. So I could watch his fights many times, and I saw him on of his amazing performance in IDCC 2007 and bring me attention of how good he was.
Yep.
And later I saw his debut in MMA. He was his first tournament, right? São Paulo, 2 fights at the night.
And, it was not the first fight, but was the Cattell fight was the first fight of the tournament. Was my third professional fight.
Okay, yeah. But it was the first time I saw you fighting, and was a little bit. You were at the time a little bit raw.
Yeah, totally raw.
Yeah, Yeah, but you won.
Yeah.
You won the 3 fights,
Yeah.
you know. So I could see that it was missing some skills to, but you won. So man, to be a champion, you need to be not only too good, you need to be a star. To have a good star, like something more like you call in Brazil, blood in the eyes. So then you did great.
Yeah.
So, and then since then, I have been dealing with Demian, and when he was in UFC, I have been following his patches, and for me, nowadays is the biggest representative of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in UFC.
I gotta agree with that. Really,
yes, I like his style. He has skills, good skill standing, so good takedowns, and on the ground, he's a damn snake. He kind of alligator on the ground, on the
Of
lake.
course,
So
of
somebody
course,
go on the ground.
that's
with
that's
him.
that's a very complimentary and very very nice to hear about two of my idols. You guys are from my professor's generation, Fabio Gurgel. And I remember, live like today, I remember Murilo fighting Fabio in the Worlds in 1999, I think, when Murilo won. I think you closed the bracket with Paulão, right? The final, and the same thing was with Fabio, and was like, I remember, how much we training for that Worlds, and see you in that performance with Fabio. That for me was one of the best, and of that time was great. And I remember being the side of the match watching that at Tijuca Tennis Club, and also Liborio. That everybody, I always heard that everybody was saying that Liborio is the best guy in Carson's academy. He's beating.
That's a heavyweight there.
So everybody, there was this. I remember there was this legend in the academy that Liborio was the guy there. I remember you at the same time you work at Banco do Brasil at that time. I remember reading the magazine. So you did compete all the time, or didn't move to MMA like Murilo and the other guys. But always the legend that I heard is like Liborio is the guy at Carson.
Oh, I don't know about that. I just know one thing, guys. I have two of my favorite MMA BJJ fighters here. I'm telling you guys, there's a lot of high level guys that made numbers getting more titles than you guys. But I gotta tell you this, in my opinion, and always was this. This is one of Black Belt Magazine actually asked me. The two names that stand out in my mind for the best representatives of BJJ with MMA and a modern BJJ, right? Let's put it this way. A guy who already know how to throw the hands, know how to take people down, know how to defend a takedown, which is a new era, right? Yes. In the beginning of everything, I was in a corner in Murlio in 1991 with the BJJ against Luta Livre at the time. And it was a clash of styles. And things evolved completely to see Murlio develop the boxing skills, to develop the takedowns, which he was already having. Murlio always had a uchimata. There was nobody wants to be in the end of that. But both of you, and one thing about both of you, and I say that, you guys always represent the flag of jiu-jitsu and martial arts. And martial arts. Let's just put it this way, because there is a big distinction between combat sports and martial arts, and I think it goes into philosophy a lot. It goes a lot into the fundamental stone of respect and martial arts and the tradition and hierarchy, and we do have that. So jiu-jitsu is found in that. But you two are the best representatives, one of the best, two of the best representatives of the true martial artist inside MMA. Winning. I have seen Demian and Murlio taking losses and getting the mea culpa. We're not saying the reason why I lost was because of this or that, and blaming on things. And I have seen this a lot, which is understandable, but at the same time, it's part of the game to take a loss, and and I'm getting a chance and say, okay, let's move on. Let's go to the next day and just keep working and try to improve that. And you guys have done that so well. So I really, I can say, through the martial arts community, that this is the way to go. I wish there was more of this into MMA right now than just just trash talk. We all understand. Demian even more in this new generation, and Murlio saw too. The trash talk brings attention in the spotlight, but it doesn't really actually develop the role of a better community, in my opinion. What are your opinions about that? I think it's very important for us to hear that. I think it's very important for people that listen to right now. Your opinion about the trash talk itself. Let's start with Murlio, Demian. I want to hear your opinion about that.
Yesterday I made a live with Master Rosado, the only red belt with from Carson Gracie, that the guy that took Liborio for Carson Academy. And we were talking about a lot of things, but one of them was about the philosophy in trash talk, and Liborio bring up a very important about subject about the philosophy of martial arts. So I think three of us have something common. Three of us, we are sportsmen. Something that I like in Demian's style. And yesterday when I was talking to Rosado, getting the live was Chinzo Machida, that Machida family. And Lyoto is one of the guys like us, some guy that I admire because of his way to behave, so a true martial artist that follow the Buddha way, the warrior way, that respect, the justice, the honor, good behavior, passing good message for people. The true masters, they behave like that. So I kind of understand people that talk, that make trash talk before the fights. They want to promote themselves and make more money. And I know the shows push them to do that, but there is a limit. Some of the guys nowadays, they passing the limit and disrespect the opponents. So I never did too much trash talk because it wasn't my way to do. But I'm not against the people that have been doing this. But I just believe that there is a limit that you can go, can pass through, because then it will be a disrespect, a bad message for it's not good for the sport. It's not a good message for the fans. The fighters are not, dumb people. They're not jerks. They're professionals. So must have a respect among fighters. Everybody's there working, not kidding, not pretending to be a warrior. They are true warriors. They demand respect. So my opinion is that, So I'm a true follower of the philosophy of martial arts, and one of the biggest accomplishments I did in my life is that I never cheat. I never took any steroids to win. I never cheat in any way to win. And I believe Demian did the same. That's why I look up of him, and of you as well. And so that's the true way to do it, So I consider myself a sportsman, not only a man that get in the fights to make money and to get rich and, to get famous. So I got involved in martial arts, and martial arts jiu-jitsu changed my life. It's my philosophy of life. It's something more deeper than only to be a fighter in UFC or Pride or Strike Force or whatever, Bellator, It's not only to be a professional fighter, be famous and make money. To be a true fighter, you must be, go, longer than that. I mean, follow the philosophy. That's my thoughts.
That's a true statement right there. Demian, and you're talking on trash talking.
Yeah, I think, like Murilo said, I don't blame nobody. I think everybody has a different kind of personality. And I think if it's your personality, to trash talk, that's no problem. of course, there's a limit, like Murilo said. I think, if you go too over, it's bad. It's bad for the sport. If there's, there's a balance, and you can be like that, but uh, first of all, you need to be real. So if you're a guy more like, I grew up in martial arts even before jiu-jitsu. I was doing other martial arts. So for me, when people ask to me, do go there and do trash talking, it's better. I said no, because that's not me. And before I get the chance to fight Tyrone again to the title, a lot of people were coming to me and said, Demian, please, you need to trash talk more, otherwise you're not gonna get the title. I said no. There's one thing that I learned in my life. I remember I have a teacher, a history teacher in the school, and he said, principles either you have or you don't have. You don't have flexible principles, because that's how the fascists and the Nazis, they did. Flexible principles. They change accordingly to the situation. So you or people that support that thing. So for me, my principle is always the same. And if they're not gonna get the title shot, doesn't matter. I'm not gonna betray my principle. I can change my principle in the future because I think about and I decide to change, but not changing according to the situation. And I said I don't care, because I prefer to don't have any chance, but keep, doing what I believe, and that's myself. But if the guy's a trash talker, it's okay, it's no problem. I think we have all kind of personalities in the world, and it's interesting for everybody and brings attention. It's nice. I like to fight a guy who is a trash talker because it's important, brings attention. And there is a boundary. I think if you go too much over, will be bad for our sport, because we also are role models, like role models, like Murilo said. So we people are looking for us not just as a fighters, but as a model, especially kids and teenagers. So I think it's very subtle the way that you can go. You need to be very careful, very aware, because as a public figures, public people, we have a responsibility. So if you go there and you start to make, let's say, you go to a trash talk against your opponent, it's okay. But if you're gonna, let's say, you put nation against nation, like let's say, United States is better than Brazil, or Brazil is better than England or something. That's pretty bad, in my opinion, because that brings back the worst of the human being. When you come back, to everything that this kind of nationalism did to the world in the past, how many people suffer and dying because of that. So I think that's things that people should think before they do what they do.
Yeah. There's that's for sure a equation there that people see the money in it. How much more attention they get to get to he polemicized, and he started creating contradiction and started about it goes in a way. It brings attention. It's like the car crash effect, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you got a car crash, everybody, even if you don't want it to, you take a pick on it. You don't want to see the blood, but you take a pick on it. And that happens a lot in MMA. And I think in martial arts, it's not like that. And I completely agree. So one of the main reasons why it is actually to bring you here.
The thing is that, if you talk in basketball or in soccer, it's interesting, but in MMA, we are already, a car crashing all the time inside the cage. So we don't need so much more, we're doing already like a crazy thing inside the cage. It's like we're going there to beat each other like crazy people. So we don't need to do more than that. That's my opinion. Or we can do,
right?
So much.
Yeah, too. Yeah, well, guys, listen. This is the inside, which two of the best in the world. You guys are a tremendous representatives of the martial arts inside the MMA world. There's a lot of them too. We're not saying that just only you two, but definitely, if I have to pick a top 10 of the best BJJ martial artist representative inside of mixed martial arts, you definitely would be in it. One thing I want to talk, Demian, I want to watch that fight with Ben Askren with you, if is that okay? Is it okay?
Yeah.
I want to hear Murillo's opinions. I want to hear your mindset at the time, how you felt about that. I know the band is actually a big. He actually was very respectful, right?
Mhm.
Ben was very respectful towards you at that time. He knows that you were the best grappler in the world, but he's in UFC. And I remember reading the concepts. They were a completely different approach that he had to that fight than he had with George. You know that I'm pretty good friends with George Masvidal, so I've followed up that same fight. So if you guys don't mind right now, guys, let's go watch that fight.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
There you go. Look, trim, Demian.
Yeah, actually, like you said, Ben, I respect Ben so much because for sure, he's a guy, exactly like me in wrestling. So he's a guy who really believes in what they do. He's into the wrestling community. He really, wanna, advocate for wrestling the same way I do for BJJ. And he's a guy that, going to that fight, I knew that would be totally different than any fight. Every fight that I went in my life, every fight, even with grapplers, they try to avoid my grappling. I don't know if he would go right away or if he would go, in the end of the round, just take me down and stall a little bit the fight to win the round. And that's what he did. And the other one just cover and hold my other triceps. I feel better doing that. You're going to see.
So right here, right now.
Yeah, you see, I hold a little
glove.
bit, and then I go to the other. Yeah, the tries. You see, just hiding because then he's gonna fight in my upper hand,
right.
And the underhand is still pressuring.
Oh man, this is brilliant. Yeah,
He cannot pull the hand, right?
Exactly, because when you go to like a regular mata-leão with gloves,
he goes. Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to stick behind the neck, right? So the guy pulls, and if you just get here and like a regular one, they're gonna fight your hand. But if you get to the shoulder and you just hide with your hand, and this one you just lock it, I feel I did that to Matt Brown too, the same submission.
Oh, awesome. Man, I was learning. I learned something. Thank you, Demian.
You never stop.
I learned something. I like it.
That's beautiful about
awesome. Let's go watch Murillo now. We got to fill time right now. Let's go watch Murillo right now. Come on. I was there, guys. Yeah. This is old school. So old school that there's no even high definition there right now. I'm telling you that. Look at this boy.
Skinner.
Good guy. Look at this, Demian.
85
Bruce Buffer was a kid.
When was that, Murlio? Was that the 70s?
2002. He's in Connecticut.
It was in Connecticut.
Son. The hotel wasn't open. Just there's the arena. They didn't open the hotel.
There you go. That's good. That's good. Hey, just by the way, Dave Manet was a tough guy. Yeah. Dave Manet was cleaning up everybody on a division there.
Yeah, pretty strong. Good striker.
Wrestler too. That he came background in wrestling, by the way.
He was a Pat Miletich student, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he trained there. He trained with Miletich there. Look at this. That was beautiful. Just take a look at this, guys. That was brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. You go upper body, and he defended with the sprawl. You move down back here for the hook sweep. Look at that. He's going to put it down again.
Yeah, perfect.
Look at this. The upper body clinch. So you fake a double leg there, right? He defended, upper body, boom, straight to the hook sweep. Beautiful. Unfortunately, he didn't go. They pushed against the cage.
Yeah, he defended well. He has a good balance.
Yeah. That's 50-50 right there. The space. Did you feel him strong, Murlio?
Yeah, okay. I used to fight guys stronger than me, so for this division, wasn't that bad. He was tough, he was strong, but not something not like you. I sparring guys stronger than me, So and fight guys bigger than me. So at the time,
That was beautiful, beautiful. Look at that.
The one that I like a lot.
So it's Sasai. So from there,
yeah, kind of Sasai,
right? So you go from, is he in a half guard or he is in a full guard? No, he's in a half guard.
Yeah, it's a butterfly.
Wow. Look at that. I just imagine what this guy is thinking there right now, you know? Well, he defended well.
He was smart. Yeah, he was smart.
Yep. You're striking too, Murlio. Did you feel like you were striking on that match? You know?
Man,
that's a big component on it. People don't know that.
The thing is, I could strike, but after Chuck Liddell fight, I realized that I could strike. That I really could strike because I never tried to strike. You know, the typical jiu-jitsu takedown.
Yeah. Good straight right hand, clinch right after that. Look at
that. But then I need to strike against Chuck Liddell. So then this fight was like, you know, one fight after Chuck Liddell. So I was really sharp, my striking game.
It just creates a confidence, right? A sense of a confidence when you can beat people that are really high style. It's like if Ben Askren didn't take Demian Maia in the first round, you gotta be proud of that. You like it or not, that if you can defend at that caliber of a wrestler, for sure, it doesn't mean 100% this, but definitely give you a up hand on your confidence. So, good half guard there. You got the underhook. Murlio, the elbows were allowed at the time.
With the elbow, yes.
But we didn't train that at the time. It's just more striking.
At the time, I didn't work too much with elbows. I kind of tried to pass the guard and focus on jiu-jitsu. But he put a hook there that was bothering me. I wasn't that in a hurry to be.
Were you trying to go to the mount or to pass, Murilo?
Oh, whatever. Mount and pass.
Mm-hmm.
You were in a great stamina there. For Marcel Pimentel working with you and a conditioning coach.
Yeah. I lose a lot of. It was the first time I cut weight, you know. So I never did it in jiu-jitsu. I didn't have the culture to cut weight. So and I cut too much. You know, I didn't even to make a diet before the fight. I mean, the days before the fight, I took a breakfast and I have a lunch. So the weigh-in.
One thing that your generation improved a lot. I don't know what's happening here. Okay. But one thing your generation improved a lot that in our generation we have to find out later is that this chain of wrestling that Brazilians, they get into the leg pretty well. You saw Murilo shot into the legs when he reached out to the double legs. Mm-hmm. But the finish from there, after the sprawl, is the chain of wrestling that we're missing for quite a while, you know? And it just improved it with the time because there was no wrestling in Brazil at the time.
No.
You know? It was judo.
Yes, Dara was teaching there. We were training the wrestling, yeah.
Yeah, little, but there was Daryl and a couple guys. There was no wrestling even today in Brazil. No, it's hard to find. Yeah, it's hard to find.
Brazil, yeah.
Right. We have, of course, some, but it's not something like United States or Russia or something like. It's very hard to find wrestling coach, and I think, like you said, the same as jiu-jitsu. It's not doing armbar, but if the guy defends the armbar, what do? You go to the next position, and the wrestlers, the good ones like Ben, he does those stuff that is so subtle in the middle that he moves your.
Oh, look at that right hand! Can you just go back there a little bit, guys? I just want to see that right hand there. Oh, even before the celebration, look at the straight right hand there. He moves into straight right hand, Murlio. That you prepare for. Go back there a little bit. He's keeping moving to his left, right?
Yeah.
Oh, this was way before.
Yeah, he returned very well for the second round. It was good.
Yeah, he came strong. You can see that. That was a good right hand of him. He changed the angle there. Now that's just the right hand right here, right? Or no?
Yeah, that's right now.
Now he moved it to the right. Boom! Right after the left. And from there is the seal that stamp it. That's our first Brazilian middleweight champion of the world. Look at me right there. Oh my gosh! I remember going to a place there, man, and started crying. And I'm not a big crier on it, but I grew up with this guy. You know, we're so happy. We're so happy on this thing.
I can imagine.
A nice moment. Yeah, cool.
It was memorable. Really was memorable on this thing. Guys, listen.
You guys was very important. Give you a lot of support, you know. So the team is very important. So for me, you guys to be on my side was awesome.
In that time, you guys just start the Brazilian top team, right?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah,
it was 2000,
right?
Yeah.
Because I remember I just posted a picture, or I just talk about that these days. That I remember fighting a Brazilian teams championship in early 2000 and was against Carson Gracie the final. And as a purple belt, I won the last fight. You know, there was 2-2. There was a draw, and I was the guy who went there to win to Alliance at that time. But I remember it's still Carson Gracie. And a couple months after that, you know, the BTT was formed in the Brazilian top team.
Demian, listen, there is one thing that I want to say. You know, guys, we have to wrap it up. There's 4 minutes to go. I just want to thank you so much, not just for being here not just for being here right now and supporting the cause. You know that all the donations from everybody who's seeing right now is going to the Red Cross, to actually through all over the world. It's just really a good cause. It is a legit agency that is going to distribute the donations to the right places. The Red Cross, you know, it's you really need to go and waste time on this thing right now. But I have to thank you guys so much for being you. This is for our community. It's so important. It is so important to actually expose you guys to medallions of MMA, to great representatives of the BJJ into MMA, but beyond anything else, just human beings that you are, to this community that it's beyond just jiu-jitsu. It's beyond just grappling. It's beyond just MMA. I know that this is our community, more closer than what a Black Belt magazine represented. But you guys are the Black Belt magazine representatives. You are martial artists. You know, and on behalf of Black Belt magazine and everybody who's watching right now, man, you guys are honor. Is an honor to have you guys here, but you honor us. You honor all the martial arts in the world. And I'm very proud to call you my friends, and I'm very proud that you guys are involved with that. You know, it's really the bottom of my heart. I want to thank you guys.
Thank you, Liborio. Thank you very much. You know, thank you, Murlio. It's like a so great pleasure looking back in, you know, when I started back in the day and see right now I have this possibility to talk with my idols and people that I was looking, you know, for when and watching and admiring when I was younger. And right now, it's like you said, we have a small community, you know, the BJJ community, but right now I'm kind of moving. I'm finishing my competitive career. I have one more fight after that, and right now I'm, you know, really thinking about the ways that I can serve this community, because that will be my life. You know, I want to serve this community and this martial art, the BJJ martial art that gave too much to me and gave too much to so many people. And it will be great this next phase, and I want to serve our community.
Yeah, Murlio. We just have 2 minutes, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll be fast. So first of all, I'd like to congrats Black Belt Magazine for this campaign. So I'm super proud and honorable to be here with two of you guys together, two legends, two honorable people from martial arts, two guys that I look up, you know, a lot because of the way you guys are. You know, Liborio is my friend since I was a very young boy, and Demian is somebody that I met later, but, you know, always admire. Even more passing time because of your behavior, you know, the way you grew. And thank you guys. Thank you, Black Belt Magazine, Liborio. Awesome to be here with you, my friend. Always nice to two legends.
For those that don't know, I'm going to jump ahead. Murlio is coming back here, guys, at 9 o'clock. Right? We're at 10 o'clock for you, 9 o'clock for Black Belt Magazine again. And Murlio will come back. Murlio will be back. But there is one thing, Demian, I want to ask you a favor right now for you guys. I have one more minute. I don't know if the guys are listening to me right now. We're going to start a campaign. I think it's more than fair and just to have Murlio as a UFC Hall of Famer.
Of course,
he's not just represented Brazil, but represented BJJ. I don't know if Mike Diller, are you there, sir? Can you put a post there?
Yeah, we got it right here for you.
There you go.
Right.
And I really, it's important. I'm even when I got invited. I know people are too busy, but coming back here on the 9 o'clock, we're going to be talking to Murlio and watching some of his fights against Thorn Erickson, and talk a little bit about how much this guy represented to us jiu-jitsu guys, to us martial artists, and to us as Brazilians too. Represented in a correct way that we think is right. And I'm going to let you know more about this because we truly believe that's you go. As the pioneer of Murlio Bustamante, UFC Hall of Famer, in our opinion. That's time to happen now, And we're going to make an effort to let everybody know about this. This is somebody that we're extremely proud to try to make it happen, to represent all of us, all the characteristics, all over the world to jiu-jitsu. And I think it's going to be important to have him as a Hall of Famer too in UFC, so that we can represent this restricted number of people that actually are the legends from UFC. So guys, everybody who's watching them right now, I truly appreciate it. We'll be back again with Murlio at 9 o'clock at night Eastern time. I think is 7 o'clock, right, Michael? I think 7 o'clock afternoon from Midwest. Well, we'll find out. Guys, thank you so much. Demian, Murlio.
Thank you. Thank you, Liborio.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
You're surprising, my friend. Thank you.